Hello everyone, Luke Smith here. It is Friday. Let us do a New York Times article reading. I wasn't expecting to do this, but I am following Rings of Redemption's antics as well as DSP, as well as watching the like, I don't know, what would you call them, troll channels, Rings 007, Call of Duty, that sort of thing, Lummox, them sort of channels, so I can get like updates and everything like that. And the Rings of Redemption actually contacted the New York Times about the trolling, which is a pretty stupid fucking thing to do, and one of the trolls ended up contacting New York Times to tell them all about the crazy shit that Rings has done over the years, and like things that he's said about the age of consent should be 12. And I don't know if they talked about him wanting to do a mass shooting. I'm not quite sure about that, but it's like other things as well. So we're gonna read this. They took the article down and they reposted it with all the edits and the stuff that Rings didn't like in there, so he kind of fucked himself over. Don't believe everything you read about the man in this photo. A photo of Geordie Gordon, an online gamer, has been attached to a fake name, and numerous bogus reports of his death, including from the mass shootings in Texas. Fucking hell. You know when you're in the shit when you get pinned. To be fair, that is a quite like, this is a new photo. A photographer had to come to his like house, like trader thing, and take this photo. This is a good looking photo right here. I'm not gonna lie, that is a really nice photo of him. They just take a picture and put it up on the internet, and then they put me into everything. Geordie Gordon said. Madeline Gray for the New York Times Post, or New York Times. So, published on June 7th, updated on June the 8th. Yeah, the update was all the new stuff. Okay, in the outpouring of grief immediately after the recent school shooting in Texas, I can't say the first one, Invalid? I don't know how to pronounce it. Posts appeared on Twitter and some other social media platforms about a man named Bernie. He was a teacher at Robb Elementary School who died sheltering his students from gunfire, the post said. Many of the posts included a picture of a grinning bearded man in glasses. That one. To be fair, that must have been taken down because I don't think I've seen that post. I've seen the other like Bernie memes, but I don't think I've seen that one before. Some commenters piped up saying that they've seen that face and that name before. Yeah, like Bernie died like, this must be like the 6th time he died in a tragic accident or something. On that point they were right, Bernie, and the photograph that appeared before on some Twitter accounts that looked as if they were from news organisations like CNN, Fox News and the BBC. BBC is the British Broadcasting Corporation, by the way. English shit. They really are fucking shit. I don't know why we have to pay our taxes to watch them. One of these accounts said the man was a journalist executed by Kabul by the Taliban. A second one said he was an activist killed in Ukraine by a mine planted by a Russian-backed escapist. A third said he was murdered in last month's massacre at a grocery store in Buffalo. For those inclined towards conspiracy theories, the conclusion is obvious. Bernie was a so-called crisis actor employed by the left to drum up sympathy for causes like gun control. His repeated appearances were used to prop up theories that major tragedies were hoaxes, and that the mainstream media was conflicted. That's the thing, wasn't there like a thing over here? Well, not really over here. There was a woman, and it had the same photo, and she died in one like incident. And like a few years later, this another massive shooting happened, or there's like massive like accident happened, and the same picture popped up of her. It was the same woman, like she died twice. It turned out it was a crisis actor, so they wanted to drum up interest about the tragedy. So yeah, don't believe what you see and hear online, folks. That's what I can say. Most things are fake, done up by the government anyway. See, I'm doing it now. I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist. Not that bad a one, but I do like to look into things. Anyway, let's get back to this. On all those points, the conspiracy theorists were wrong. There is no Bernie, he is not a crisis actor, and the news organisations are not behind the post. And the photo, it is of a 36-year-old online gamer, Geordie Gordon. He hates being called that, by the way. He is alive and has nothing to do with the posts. Instead, the posts are part of a years-long harassment. It's been more than a year. Campaign against him, taking place on online platforms like Twitter, Reddit and Discord. I think 4chan as well. Maybe Facebook, I don't know about that one though. The post has had time spread bogus information about the high profile tragedies to the delight of many of those sharing the joke. I had nothing to do with it, Mr. Gordon said in a video call. They just take my picture, put it up on the internet and they just put me into everything. Bernie, the full version, sounds like a racial slur when spoken aloud. He appeared more than 8,700 times on Twitter, according to an analysis conducted last week by Signal Labs, a media insight company. The name has been mentioned more than 1,200 times on Twitter since the shooting in Buffalo and in Vlad. I think. Oh, Vlad, not in Vlad. A nearly 6,000% increase from the two prior weeks, according to Signal Labs. Yeah, it's a thing like if you say it, Bernie Gores. So you say it in one go, it does sound like a racial slur. The harassment seemed to have started as a racist inside joke at Mr. Gordon's expense. As the campaign has continued, misinformation researchers say it has shown how mass shootings and other tragedies has become an amusement for a certain subset of the online world, a chance to slow confusion and then revel in it. The initial post, intended to troll, sometimes fueled rumours that the massacres are false flag operations or staged propaganda events carried out by actors. That's the thing, because it's like a good few years ago there was these like conspiracy channels, like conspiracy theorist channels, and every time there's like a mass shooting or something like that, they go into it to the last detail. They want to know if it was real or not. The main one was like the Sandy Hook thing, and it showed like all these things about these police walking off camera, but the direction that they was walking was a brick wall, so where would they go? So yeah, I don't know. We don't know the truth because we wasn't there if it happened. So yeah, the falsehoods add the trauma suffered by the survivors, victims' families, and tarnishing the memories of their loved ones. Sometimes oh yeah, he's going to talk about Sandy Hook. Now it's been 10 fucking years. Fucking hell. As was the case after the 2012 shootings at the Sandy Hook Elementary town in Newton, Connecticut, I think it was. The falsehoods led to the harassments from the conspiracy theorists. It really dehumanises the events, the consequences of the shootings, and it makes it all into a joke, said Whitney Phillips, a long-time disinformation researcher. That's the thing, because yes, I do believe the Buffalo thing actually happened, as well as the shootings this year. It is America is a bloody mess at the minute. I really don't know what's going on with it. 2 years of lockdown must have really fucked them up. The photo of Gordon that circulated on the Twitter. Okay, yeah, this is the that is the picture. That is a picture. In it, fucking lovely. It's like a Columbia. This is the Bernie picture of what people's always using. Let's see, where are we now? Mr. Gordon, who streams himself playing video games on YouTube under the Wings of Redemption handle, has nearly 440,000 subscribers. He began playing COD for an online audience in 2008 after losing his job at a steel mill. He worked at a steel mill, didn't know that. Probably not correct, because he was like lies about stuff sometimes. Not all the time. He probably did work there. Before that, he regularly appeared in a podcast where he attracted some criticism for his statements, including some homophobic and racial slurs. Yeah, he said some really shitty things in the past that might bite him in the butt soon, but I don't know. I don't know how it'll get him cancelled. I think he's already got him cancelled for it, but he wants to be very careful what he says nowadays. That's the thing. And comments in support of lowering the age of consent. Yeah, that's another main one. I have apologised profusely for the error of my juvenile thought process and live with the ramification of that every day, he said, attributing to the comments to his shock jock routine. Yeah, I don't know if he's saying it for like shock value or what, but there was like a video of him like saying that he would like shoot up a mall, and like he wanted to like ram his car into a movie house, cinema. So yeah, you can't get away with saying that, I'm afraid. It's fucking disgusting, to be fair. I really hope he does change his ways, but he probably won't. He said that he learnt of the first Bernie meme from Reddit in the post in 2020. The photo is a selfie he took at the front of his porch in 2018 and posted it on Twitter. He said that he's barely been troubled that he had barely been troubled by the campaign initially, calling it such a small thing compared with the multiple things he has said. He was subjected to more dangerous trolling, including so-called swatting pranks, in which people place hoax phone calls to report fake crimes in an attempt to compel a response from law enforcement, which is illegal and it's fucking dangerous. People can get killed when you do that. Swatting is disgusting. Mr. Jordan said that he believed that he had been the first target of serious trolling in 2018 after he raised tens of thousands of dollars from followers to undergo weight loss surgery and then dragged his feet before undergoing the procedure. Photos that he posted from a hospital bed as proof that he had completed the operation were later used in fake reports of Bernie's death. In online chat rooms and live streams, other gamers have suggested that the harassment began earlier, after Mr. Jordan's displays of frustration and offensive comments during gaming sessions and podcast episodes. I think it gives him a form of power, he said of the people posting his photo, often under accounts intended to look like they belong to news organisations, messing with somebody or making somebody feel bad, or saying that it's just horrific, so that they're so desensitized to. That gives them the feeling of belonging. But what happens next is even more inside this danger. Miss Phillips said the joke was taken at face value by the sizable proportion of people who are already primed to distrust society's institutions. It just escalate. How's that word? All of the conspiracy stuff that we have swirling around and sets us on a dangerous course, she said. It further can cause our ability to be grounded in the same temporal reality. Such pranks has long been historical precedent. Researchers said one man, a comedian, has been falsely named as the gunman of several mass shootings, including a shooting in San Bernardino, California in 2015. I don't think you can find an event of significant magnitude where this doesn't happen in the aftermath. It is almost a reflex at this point, said Mike Caulfield, a research scientist at the Center for an Informed Public of the University in Washington. Nowadays, people are promoting false flag and crisis actor theories 20 minutes after the event in a very formulaic ways. In other words, people don't fucking fact check it before they look into it. There's like media outlets over here that don't really fact check anything before reporting on it. Mr. Caulfield described the cycle as almost factory production, happening like clockwork. In Mr. Jordan's case, his photo resurfaces in social media posts, there you are, missed out that word, from accounts that mimic news outlets and even copy their logos. A report last year that Bernie had been executed by the Taliban soldiers in Kabul was posted on Twitter from @CNN Afghan, a fake account at Twitter suspended, and then amplified by BBC Afghan News, another suspended account which cited multiple reports of the death. Yeah, all them trolling accounts has been like shut off. Bernie has also been described as a victim of a tornado in Kentucky in 2021 and an explosion in Beirut, Lebanon in 2020. At Fox News Ukraine, a fake account with 17 followers, that's when you know it's fake, that also has been suspended, claimed that this year he was a right-wing journalist who has been killed in Mariupol, while at Russia CNN, which has 2 followers, said that he was a pilot has been shot down while flying towards Russia. At CNN Zim, in its only post said Bernie was a journalist who had been caught in the crossfire between Russia and Ukraine forces. The account, which has no followers, describes itself in its profile as a fake profile account, adding could delete later to prove how easy it is to dupe people. Several replies on the post criticized CNN, which is not affiliated with any of the fake accounts, for his faulty journalism. How do they get people to see these stuff? Is it just like clickbait handle, that sort of thing? Well, I suppose it's like in the now, isn't it? You put the name of the city that's in trouble, and there you go, people are clicking on it. In response to an inquiry of the New York Times, Twitter said in a statement that it has suspended most of the accounts for violating its policy against misleading and deceptive identities. In line with our abusive behavior policy, we prohibit content that denies the mass murder or other mass casualties events that took place, where we can verify the event occurred and where the content is shared with abusive intent, Twitter said. George Galloway, a former member of the British Parliament, was he involved in this shit? Who hosted a program called The Mother of All Talk Shows, I don't remember that, on the Russian-owned news outlet Sputnik. Okay, yeah, it's probably why. Yeah, I think he's Russian, isn't he? Yeah, because I do recognise the name. I know what he looks like. He's a fucking idiot. Who falsely on air in February that Bernie online appearances were an example of disinformation spread by the mainstream media. As proof, Mr. Galloway cited a tweet from an account called CNN Ukraine, which posted the photo and described Bernie as the first American casualty of the Ukraine crisis. The account, which is not affiliated with CNN, has been suspended. So he actually talked about that. I didn't know that. I need to find out if it's real. None of the liars that lied, the seers that carried their lies, or the poor idiots who believed it all, none of them will face any consequences for it. Mr. Galloway funded. Oh yeah, I have to find out now. The show now streams from his YouTube account, which has nearly 200,000 subscribers, mainly because no one else would take him on. He said in a direct message on Twitter last week that it was an honest mistake in the fast-moving live show, and that it was sincerely sorry, and he had apologised the night of the broadcast. Around the same time, you try saying that Russia's representative to the United Nations said that 2 reports about Bernie from fake CNN accounts were to criticise the mainstream media. Colleagues, beware, the main battle is not in hashtag Ukraine, it is with lies and fakes of MSN, Mr. That wrote on Twitter. CNN later debunked his claims. Nothing that the CNN Ukraine and the CNN Afghanistan accounts behind the tweets were both phonies. That has been suspended by Twitter for violating its policy against impersonation. Asked this week about the post, he said in a direct message that he has forgotten all about it in the 3 months since he has been put up, since he put it up, and he had no idea who Bernie was. But if you imply that I wrongfully criticise MSN, as mainstream media, I think, and because of those bogus accounts, my criticism lacks credibility, I will not agree with it, he wrote. And there you go. There you go. Is there any comments? No, there bloody isn't. Okay. So yeah. Gordy Gordon. Mad lad. I'm gonna leave it here. Let me know what you think of it. I mean, like, yeah, he wanted to post it up, put the article up because he wanted like to get back at the trolls, but it's failed on him. But at the same time, it didn't. Like it was a good put together article. I'm not gonna lie. It's been like mostly truthful in that. I know most of it was complaining about like media and like crisis and stuff, things like that. But from his side, yeah, it did actually get some of it truthful, so that's actually good. But yeah, I do not like reading media articles. I'd rather go out in the real world and witness life for myself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to get this up tonight, hopefully before midnight. It's probably not going to go up in time though. Tomorrow will be a quickie reading, so until then, see you guys.